You walk past it almost every single day. That little square panel on your ceiling, maybe in a hallway closet, maybe above your garage. You probably haven't opened it in years. Here's the problem. That panel is quietly costing you hundreds of dollars a year. Not your windows, not your front door. That hatch. It's the single weakest point in your home's entire insulation system, and almost nobody checks it. But here's the twist. That same problem spot can be flipped into one of the cheapest cooling systems you'll ever build. We're talking about turning a $15 box fan setup into something that pulls hot air straight out of your house. No electrician, no HVAC contractor, no $6,000 install. Before we get into it, quick question. Does your attic hatch use a ladder, or do you have pull-down stairs? Drop one word in the comments. You'll want to know which type you have for this one. Here's a number that should bother you. According to Energy Star, 9 out of 10 homes in the United States are under-insulated. That's not a small gap. That means the vast majority of people are paying to heat or cool air that's leaking right back out. And one report on home heat loss puts it even more directly. A poorly insulated attic can account for up to 25% of your total heating costs in the fall and winter. 1/4 of your heating bill gone before it ever warms your living room. So why does the attic hatch specifically matter so much? Because of how it's built. Engineers who've studied ceiling hatches point out something simple but easy to miss. A normal ceiling, fully sealed and insulated, traps a layer of still air above it that acts like a blanket. But the moment you cut a hole in that ceiling for a hatch, you break the blanket. You create a direct channel for air to move between your living space and your attic. It's not that the hatch is poorly made. It's that any hatch, by design, interrupts the one thing that was keeping your heat in or your heat out. And because it's small, tucked away, usually painted the same color as the ceiling, it almost never makes anyone's home improvement checklist. People reseal windows. People replace weather stripping on doors. Almost nobody thinks about the 2-foot square panel above their head. To understand why this fix works, you only need one basic principle. Hot air rises. In summer, your attic becomes a heat trap. Multiple sources in the HVAC industry report attic temperatures can climb past 150 degrees Fahrenheit on a hot day. That heat doesn't just sit up there. It radiates downward through your ceiling and pushes straight into the rooms below it. This is exactly the mechanism the Department of Energy describes when it explains how whole house fans work. A whole house fan pulls cooler air in through your open windows, circulates it through the home, and pushes the warm indoor air up and out through the attic and roof vents. Done correctly, this process can cycle the air in your entire home between 15 and 23 times every hour. Now compare the power draw. A whole house fan typically uses somewhere between 200 and 650 watts per hour. A standard central air conditioner uses around 3,500 watts per hour. That's roughly 5 to 15 times less electricity for moving a comparable volume of air through your home. And here's the detail almost nobody knows. Energy Star's own technical requirements for certified attic hatches call for a minimum insulation value of R10. Most hatches installed in homes more than a decade or two old were never built anywhere close to that standard. The hole has been sitting there, uninsulated and unsealed, the entire time. Here's exactly what you need and what it costs. One sheet of rigid foam insulation board, about $8. A tube of spray foam sealant or weather stripping adhesive, around $4. A roll of foil tape, about $3. And a box fan you already own or one picked up secondhand for free. Total cost, right around $15. Step 1. Measure your attic hatch, opening exactly, width, and height. Step 2. Cut the rigid foam board to wrap around the frame of your box fan, creating an insulated shell that seats snugly into the hatch opening. Step 3. Position the fan so it pulls air from inside your home and pushes it upward into the attic space, the same direction a whole house fan operates. Step 4. Use the foam sealant to close every gap between the insulated panel and the hatch frame. This step matters as much as the fan itself. Any air leak here defeats the purpose. Step 5, and this one is critical. Before you run this system, check your attic's roof or gable vents. The Department of Energy specifically states that homes using a fan like this need attic ventilation capacity increased to 2 to 4 times the normal vent area. Without enough exit ventilation, the fan has nowhere to push that hot air, and it will struggle or pull air from the wrong places. Operating rule, also straight from the Department of Energy. Only run this when the outside air is cooler than the inside air, typically early morning or evening. Never run it at the same time as your central air conditioning. The two systems work against each other. One more practical tip that makes a real difference. Crack open windows on the opposite side of the house from the hatch before you switch the fan on. This gives the moving air a clear path to travel across every room instead of just pulling from the nearest window, which means the cooling effect reaches bedrooms and living areas evenly instead of just the hallway closest to the attic access point. And if you want to check whether it's actually working, this part is simple. Place a thermometer in your attic before you start and check it again after 20 minutes of runtime. A properly sealed setup with adequate vent area should show a noticeable drop, often within that 20 to 30 degree range we talked about earlier. If you're not seeing much change, that's your signal to go back and check your ceiling or your vent capacity before assuming the method doesn't work. Now let's slow down, because this only works if we're straight with you. This setup will not replace central air conditioning during a string of 90-plus degree days that never cool off at night. The Department of Energy is clear that whole house fan cooling depends on a meaningful temperature drop after dark, ideally a swing of 25 degrees Fahrenheit or more between day and night. If you live somewhere that stays hot and humid around the clock, this method will give you far less benefit. There's also a real risk if your attic insulation is thin or your ceiling already has air leaks elsewhere. In that case, the fan can end up pulling air-conditioned air you already paid to cool straight up into the attic, working against you instead of for you. It's worth checking your existing attic insulation level before you build this. This is not a permanent replacement for your HVAC system. Think of it as a smart, low-cost tool for the shoulder seasons and cool nights, something that takes pressure off your air conditioner rather than something that eliminates the need for one entirely. It's also worth saying plainly that results vary by region. Homes in dry climates with big day-to-night temperature swings, think mountain areas or inland regions, tend to see the strongest results. Homes in consistently humid coastal climates, where nighttime temperatures barely drop, will see a much smaller benefit, and in some cases, pulling in humid night air can make a room feel stickier rather than cooler. Know your climate before you count on this as your main cooling strategy. Here's the real lesson buried in all of this. You don't always need an expensive system to fix a real energy problem. Sometimes, you just need to understand one principle, that heat rises, and find the one place in your home where that principle is working against you instead of for you. Industry reporting on whole house fan performance shows that in the right climate, with the right conditions, households have recorded cooling cost reductions in the range of 50 to 90%. That's a wide range on purpose, because your results depend entirely on your climate, your insulation, and how closely you follow the steps we just walked through. Nobody can promise you an exact number, and you should be skeptical of anyone who does. What you can do today, right now, is go find your attic hatch. Open it. Look at what's actually insulating that gap, if anything. That 5-minute check tells you more about your home's hidden energy waste than almost anything else you could inspect this week. If this kind of practical, no-nonsense home fix is useful to you, subscribe. We dig up the parts of your house everyone else ignores, and we explain exactly why they matter.